facing head-on the emotions beneath the surface as we bridge from an old world of confusion and lack to a beautiful new world of freedom, abundance, and love with straightforward truth and inspired hope is what you'll find on The Charla Anderson Show. Collector and connector of fascinating people. And everyone is fascinating. Here's your host, Charla Anderson.
Good, beautiful day, you beautiful, beautiful souls. This is Charla Anderson, host of The Charla Anderson Show, collector and connector of fascinating people, and everyone is fascinating, especially you. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so excited. We got more. Fran Asaro, my really fun friend from Senior Tubers, and we'll be introducing her in just a moment on Win-Win-Win, Win-Win Women platform that I love, and Podetize that I love, and all these streaming services that are out there that I don't know anything about, but they're there. Anyway, I love to begin my little show with a 22-second mini vacation. It's a 22-second breathing exercise. We're going to breathe in calm for 7 seconds, hold for 4, and then breathe out gratitude for 11 seconds. So let's just jump into that. Ready, set, here we go. Breathe in calm for 7. Hold. Release. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's do that multiple times a day with all these techie devices we got so often are attached to in this frenetic world we're in. That just kind of gets you back settled. So thank you for joining me with that. And Fran Asaro, that I met a few months ago now through Podetize, actually. And she has created a group called Senior Tubers. I barely fit into that age, but just saying. And it's about mature, or actually it's not necessarily about mature. It's about people that want to go at their own pace and learn how to be a YouTuber and perhaps even make money at it. So Fran Asaro is joining us from Florida.
Yes.
Yeah, Florida. And we're going to have so much fun. She makes us laugh. I'm in a small group of YouTube creators, I believe it is, and we just laugh a lot. And so that's if you're not having fun, what's the point, right?
Don't do it.
Fran, tell me who you are in this world, and we'll talk a bit about what you do as well.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Charla. I am so honored that you invited me here. I've been waiting all day like a little kid. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, waiting and watching my clock to get here. And as I said to you just before we started, I feel like this is going to be one of the warmest, most loving podcasts I've ever done because of who you are. So thank you.
No pressure.
I just know it will be. Let's just put it that way. So I'm Fran Asaro, and I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. But recently, like in the past few years, I was trying to take my content creating to another level because I wasn't doing really well, even though I was on YouTube for 10 years. I really dove in, took academies, learned about what I was doing, and then it was like a light bulb moment when I realized what I didn't know. It was the reason that my channel wasn't doing anything. But just knowing that and doing my content creating was not enough because I've been a life and business coach for almost 20 years now. And I thought, why can't I teach this to people my age? The academy I took was amazing, but it came at me like a fire hose. And I thought, there's got to be other people that would want this at a slower pace. So I call us the Senior Tubers, but it's really for a state of mind. If you like to be learning at a slower level or a more comfortable level, having fun and not just taking notes, but having conversations that everybody can support you in, then this is what this is for, to belong somewhere. So that's how it all started.
Well, that's awesome. And I've had Teresa and Sharon and next time week after next Deborah. So some of the other people in our little group are very diverse group. Yes. And it was so fun last night. We were on Teresa Velarde's podcast, and how many, about 7 or 8 of us, and we just had so much fun and actually learned a lot about each other because of reading the whole bios and stuff that got done. So we just, you know, I ain't quitting. I'm 70. I'm not stopping. There is no stopping me. There's nothing, there's never nothing to do. People are going, "Are you busy?" I'm like, who's not? I mean, really, I'm like, who's not busy?
Yeah.
There's just never nothing to do. And I don't watch television. I don't do much. I don't do games or any of that. There's so much to learn and so much to create and
And plus you're very passionate. And so that we can tell that you're passionate about what you do and you know what you do so well. And I agree. I don't plan on ever retiring. I just think we should do things age appropriately, not like we're 20, but let's do it where we work like we want to, not like we have to, right? And until I can't is what I plan on working till. So
exactly. And I don't want a job. I did a job, a 34-year career. I loved it. Flight attendant, it was great, but and I wouldn't mind that job again, actually. Come to think of it. But I don't want to punch a clock. But that doesn't mean I'm not always kind of working. So
I can tell you're a very busy woman. Yep.
So I would like to, just tell us about how we'll go ahead and start here, how we can get involved in the senior tuber community. And I know it's on Facebook. I know it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, by the way. Imagine that.
I hope so. Yeah.
But Fran, and this is podcast. If you're listening at some point in the future, it's FranAsaro. ASARO. You can find her in a lot of different social media places, so including YouTube and Facebook. So how do we join these little groups you have and are and even a bigger group, right? You've got
So I don't want anybody to feel overwhelmed. But what happened was when I started this, I wasn't expecting the interest that came about and the diverse interest. So there were some people who have no channels and some people who are professionals, been doing it for years, but their channels aren't succeeding. And I didn't want to pick one. I started this to bring people who had never had a channel, but have some interest of leaving a legacy or having their voice heard somehow, entertaining or educating people. So I've tried to cover a wide range of opportunities for people. You can go to seniortuber.com. It's actually a page that just tells you about your options, anything from free options with a podcast or some videos that I put up to having our group weekly meeting for our group. And there's extra learning available. Plus, we have private sessions if anybody needs to do that. And I've just recently launched where I do an optimization report. If you have a channel that's not performing, I help you with an audit so that you know what you might be doing right and what you still need to do to have it perform better. So I've tried to cover the gamut, and I'm still looking for other ideas. Who have I not reached? But I want to reach people who have a need to either start their YouTube channel or grow it. But basically, I call it optimizing and monetizing their channel. And we do so much else after that. But the basics are to start with optimization and monetization as a foundation.
Well, and I love your tagline, Senior Tubers, where mature people come to optimize and monetize their YouTube channels. I really think that the logo and the tagline is really special. And it says, it's very clear. And you've got a way that, you've just got a way of teaching, and, you're sometimes a little direct and a little straightforward, which why not? We don't have time to mess around. So just tell it like it is. And, we don't get offended easily. We're not going to hurt we're not going to hurt anybody's feelings intentionally, but you never know. I just am not in this world where everybody gets offended so easily. So I'm like,
well, that's the second time since yesterday on Teresa's call that somebody said I was very direct. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I think I beat around the bush too much. I'm not there. I like to be warm and fuzzy, right? And so, but I really care that you Like, I look at your channel, you meet the most amazing people, you put out the most amazing work. All I think about is the world seeing Charla? Okay. And if they're not, and anybody else, I say, well, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Because that's what I do. I have an eye for that. And I want to make sure that people know there's maybe a little bit more they could do. And I guess it could come out direct if they see that that's where my passion is being there for you and pointing it out. Even in the middle of the night while you're sleeping, I might notice something and say, hey, did you see that? I think it'd be better if you do this. So, yeah.
And I think that's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't have to no question that your heart is good. There's not even a second of questioning of your intent and your heart and your passion to get all of us, those in our group to do better and be better and be seen out there. And that's why I'm in your group. I think I need you to do my audit. We've talked about some of these things, but I get off we get off our calls and I'm on to the next thing. And I think about it again the next week when we're in our meeting instead of doing it in between time. So, yeah, and, it's kind of like there's just a lot to do in our world. I put out a thing yesterday on Facebook that was like, is anybody bored? How could you be bored in this world? And I thought about my daughter when she was in junior high or something, said she was bored. And I said, that should not be a word in the English language. if you live in America, there is zero reason to be bored. There's no reason. There's unlimited intriguing opportunities.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
I can't even imagine not, being
here's
bored.
The thing, Charla, when I hear people say that they don't have time, I am exactly the same way. I mean, just today I kept saying, I don't have time. I don't have time. I have so many things planned for today, but prioritizing what you do with that time. So if you're putting out a lot of videos, not just you, anybody who's putting out a lot of videos and you're not optimizing them, then why are you putting out there? It's like opening up a restaurant in your neighborhood, but not telling anybody that you're open. And I want to make sure people let the world know you're open because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. This is your place almost for free to get everything about you out there. And if you optimize it, use your best practices, you have a better chance of doing that. So when I hear people say they don't have enough time, I just want to ask them if they have time to prioritize and do that. And whatever it takes, I could use somebody to be my hand holder in that. I'm not perfect at it, but that's what I listen for. Let's make sure the world knows about you.
And I mean, that's the whole point, right? I mean, of YouTube, it is the second largest Google and YouTube, the first and second, owned by the same people,
Yep.
That's where people are looking. And I tell you, I have a friend that she's put two Apple computers together, one the top screen and one, by watching YouTube, and the Apple says you can't do it. She's done it. She's changed the starter on a 2006 old car, because somebody's got his, I'm like, who does that? But aren't we grateful that we have access to that?
Yes.
And can learn how to do, and somebody takes the time to really make a little video about that, about some of the most random things you would never think of. So, but there's, with 8 billion people, there's somebody looking for your information. And that's, I think, part of the thing here, where we all have a story. That's why I'm here. And that's why you're there. We all have stories to tell. We're leaving a legacy, whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
Some of us are going to leave a more impactful legacy, probably. And if we have, internet's forever, right? So if you put something out there, it's pretty much going to be there.
Yeah. Somebody once told me in 2009, YouTube was already 3 years old. They said, anything you ever want to know will be on YouTube. And at that point is when I started becoming insatiable and say, well, let's see, let me test it out. And every time I needed something, I went there first. Now, look how long that was. I don't want to date this podcast, but that was a long time ago. And ever since then, I started becoming a creator and putting everything out there. And it's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful ride, but I could see that I could have done better. I became a YouTube partner right away. I started earning some income right away, but I didn't have the success that I knew I could have. And when I found out that not only, like, if you want to teach somebody how to hammer a nail into a wall, you want to make sure they see it. So there's certain things you could do. If you just make a video, but you don't optimize it, that video, as much as it's needed, isn't going to be seen. And that's what we want to do.
And I don't ask people to join my, I just don't, I'm not one out there asking people to join. And I do believe I'll be more confident in doing that once I feel like it's optimized and has all those bells and whistles. And I'm not actually putting videos out. This video will be on there. I think, is it April 2nd? I think is highlighted, where it comes out on the Podetize takes over and then puts it out in a blog and shorts and all these different things. They do a great job. And they, so I'm allowing them to do that. And then so I don't get back in there and do the work. Now I have older videos that I'm sure that are still on my channel as well, but this comes out weekly, right? So it comes out a week, 13 days after today, you'll get, it'll come out on my blog, on my website with the blog, and then the podcast that goes everywhere. So I think it's just kind of fun, and I'm not having to do that much. This is my creation right now. This little show that I have. I know you also do some things that because you're a creator, because we know in our group that there are a lot of creators, and Sharon Durbin Graves was on my show a couple weeks ago. She's a painter. She teaches acrylic painting to beginners and is amazing, and puts videos out there all the time. Her story is amazing,
dedicated
too.
Yeah, her story is what has me follow her. She is an incredible role model for me when it comes to that. She's awesome.
Yeah, she had 3 months to live or something 25 years ago or something, or she was like, no, she said, well, I've always wanted to paint. I'm just going to paint. And painting became her healing. And I mean, seems that way, doesn't it?
It sure does.
And because she's a lot of years later, and she's just happy, and she laughs all the time too. We just fun little group.
Our fun girl.
But she's inspired you to get your easel out.
Yep.
You're going to paint. You're a painter too. And I noticed you're a poet.
Yes, I am. I don't know where you found that, but yes, I've been writing poetry since I was in 4th grade. Yeah.
Well, one is about life is like a recipe or something like that. So,
that one.
Yeah, I found that, and I thought, I don't think I knew you were a poet, and how fun is that? So, you 4th grade. Do you remember your first one?
Yeah. Love is everything. My mother didn't believe I wrote it because I was a 4th grader. And so because it was about love. What does a 4th grader know about love? So her and my aunt were sitting at the kitchen table and said, you really wrote this? I said, yeah. They said, well, go write us a poem. And my aunt had just had a new baby, and I wrote a poem about him. And they were blown away by the poem, that she actually framed it and kept it over his bed for many years, just blown away that I wrote it. And and then I started with other things like painting and other. So it wasn't just poetry anymore, but it's always in me to write.
So a creator's creator, huh?
Yeah.
So you shared a quote. Do you know it off your? You want me to read it, or are you going to say it?
You could read it.
Okay.
I think I just told you it too.
You spent a lifetime gathering wisdom. Now there are people who need to hear it from you.
Yes. And the important part is from you. Because if you think you have something that's on YouTube 1,000 times, but it's not you, you're going to resonate. Your voice, your looks, just your presence is going to be something that's going to change somebody's life one day. And so like you, Charla, I'm sure there's how many podcasters out there, but look at you. You're so unique, and people need to hear what you have to say. They fall in love with you, right? And they would never know how loving a podcast could be if they didn't see you, right? How you are with people and all your inspirations. So that's the thing. So if you're out there being a creator, or if you spent your whole life being a teacher or traveling or cooking or whatever it is, the world needs to know. Like my sister wants me to have a cooking channel because I love to do vegan cooking, but I am the worst at keeping it simple, right? So there's usually something hanging from my hair or my clothes. So we were going to call me the awkward vegan. And so that if you saw orange peels while I was making orange juice hanging from my hair, nobody would be surprised. So that they would have to see that from me.
Why not? Why not? That's hysterical. That's funny, funny, funny. So I wish I had my right over there. I have a little sticky note in my little planner calendar that said there are people, and it's about writing books, but there are people that will never hear, will only hear what you have to say when it comes from you. I mean, I wish I had the quote with me. I don't guess I'll jump.
Thank you.
There,
I'd love to have that because I think it's important.
It was very, I found it through about the time I was writing my books, I was like, there are some people that will only hear your story.
Yes.
Or the information they need, the way you tell it. It's something along that line. So I will get that to you for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it's a beautiful quote, and I carried it around with me. I was going to ask you about, I saw a title of one of your videos that said, I love this about, are you a partner or a fall apart? I thought that was hysterical. And you're talking, but it's about taking care of yourself, right?
Yes. Yep. In life, right? I think that's the one that you're talking about. Who are you? I'm the type that helps everybody, but this was about taking care of me. I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, self-care, definitely. And
yes.
because a cup and a saucer, if anybody is younger than a certain age won't know what a saucer is, but the cup and the saucer, you pour your coffee in the cup. My daddy actually would pour it into the saucer and sip it out, I guess, to cool it down. But if you will keep your cup full and let it overfill and just serve from the saucer, then you're going to have a much healthier life. We were talking about Candy Bar Hugs, my little book, and a lot of people, there's people that don't love themselves enough to know how to love others.
Yeah.
Bullies are like that. I mean, there's people that just don't love themselves enough to love others, as in my saying, unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, not unconditional boundaries. And the harder people are to love, the more they need it.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's the unlovable, we call it, are the ones that really test your faith, right? To be kind. Yep. Oh, and we have a guest here right now. Let me see.
Oh, who is it?
It's oh, hi, how are you?
Come on video.
Shantae? Yes.
Is it Shantae?
Yes.
Shantae.
Oh, Shantae.
She's another show. Host.
Oh, nice to meet you.
One of my dearest friends. We met several years ago. So Shantae, have you heard any of the other part of the story yet?
No, I am just getting a break where I can jump on.
Well, I'm glad you're here. That's nice to meet you. I just wanted to answer your question about that with the cup and the saucer. She just gave an analogy, Shantae. And I love that you give whatever you can give that goes over the cup, over the lid. And, as a business coach for 20 years now, one of the things I get from people is that they give too much and they want to learn how to stop giving so much. And my first thing to say is, no, you do not want to stop giving or else you'll die. Givers need to give or they'll just feel depleted, but you definitely want to include yourself in the equation. And that's what I try to tell people is don't stop, but just create balance. Now, I'm going to use that with the saucer. I'm going to have to make a picture of it. And that about your father, too. I love that. So thank you. I haven't finished that thought before I forget because, I am a senior tuber, Shantae.
Shantae has a show called Next Level, NEXLEVEL, and she is rocking it out there in the world. I wanted to ask Fran, are you going to be able to stay for a few more minutes, Shantae?
Yes, I'll be on for a few more minutes.
Okay.
I'm looking down here because I can see you on my phone screen, not up here. Anyway, so one more thing I want to ask you, Fran. I want to ask you to tell the Velcro story.
Oh, you have been digging deep. I'm telling you, that's one of my favorite stories. I can't remember where I saw it, so I'm going to make up where I saw it. It was either a cartoon, an animated cartoon, or just a graphic that I got deeply. But here's a story about two men walking through a cemetery, and they're looking at tombstones. And one of them looks at the other and says, "Look at that. Here lies the person who invented Velcro." Can you imagine this person? If they didn't exist, we would never have Velcro. And he was so excited trying to celebrate him, as he should have. Okay. That was not the issue. But the other man looked at him and said, what if Velcro wasn't the rest of his story? What if there was something more for him? Or maybe there was something more for him, but we don't know. What we only know is the man who invented Velcro. So the thing is, are you doing the thing that you were called to do, or just something that leads you to the thing that you're called to do? And it's always I always think about that, because I think I do nice things and I think I live a nice life, but I always say, is this my purpose? Is this the thing? And so sometimes when I want to play small, I think of that story and I say, yeah, this is nice, but that's not the thing. And that's when Senior Tuber came around. I was sort of like winding down a little, not to retire, but just to work a little slower. And I said, you know what? I need to reach some people. And I didn't want to be out in the public. I've already been out in the public. And I said, you know what? I need to be out there. I need to be helping people. And I started, I put that playing small on the shelf because of that, the Velcro.
I heard, I'm just looking around, picking and choosing little things to
I gotta
click
hide
on.
things from you. Yeah.
I love that.
And it wasn't deep. It's certainly not deep, but it was. It's something I did click on. I was like, I want you to tell this story because, I carried the Olympic torch. We talked about that yesterday on this other, and I was like, so if that is the highlight of my life, it's like the winning touchdown or the prom queen in high school that never. They live that, they never get past that. We know people like that, right? That I caught the winning touchdown and, I've never caught anything good since
their best
then,
years are behind them. They talk like their
Mhm.
best years are behind them, and they're not if they don't want them to be.
Not at all. So I just think that's a huge point that you just,
I also have a video on there. I don't know if you saw it, but I do. It's called Pace, Path, and Rhythm. And it helps people when you're going through something like this. Are you going at your pace, your path, and your rhythm in life? And it helps you feel that like you're in your groove. And so for people who don't know if their Velcro story is the story yet, or if there's still more, you may want to look at that, and I'll send you the link to it. It's a short video of only a few minutes long, but it definitely impacts people who might be challenged by, am I doing the right thing right now? Am I doing the best I can or want to?
Shantae, as one that is not slowing down.
Yes.
She's got magazines, she's got interviews, she works a full-time job. She's got,
oh my gosh,
she's amazing. And so I didn't know if you had something you wanted to contribute to that. This is one that, most of my shows, we don't always have somebody come pop in, and I'm so grateful to.
Yes, this is exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I really love that. I really love that analogy, and I think it's so great. And one of the reasons why one of the reasons why I call what I do Next Level is because of that very fact. Things happen and we have a highlight point or we have a tragedy point, and it seems as if people stop living at that point. Like they never go on to see what's next.
Yes.
That's the moment where life stops. And I wanted to make sure that as things happened in my life, good and bad, that I just didn't stop there. I
Yes.
kept going. I was intentional about taking the next step, going even further, and letting this point propel me to the next level.
Exactly.
So,
Like thresholds are infinite, right? You go to
yes,
each threshold if you embrace it or even look for it, right? Man, I'm
I,
going to check out your channel.
I really love that Velcro. I really do. I love that. That's so beautifully put together. And I just personally think that we are always in search of, there's never a point. I don't care how old you get, as long as you have breath in your body, there's more. And
Yes.
that in the adventure of life, in my opinion, what makes life worth living is finding out what that more is, going on that treasure hunt and finding out what else God has for me to do. What else can I do at whatever age? Can I take the ceiling off at this age? What more
Yes.
can I do, and never stopping? And so I do. I really, really, really love that.
That's great. I mean, you look a little too young to be a mature senior tuber. So, but some of us, we are looking like, what's next in our life? You know, you don't want to stop. I know Charlotte never wants to stop. I never want to stop, but what's next, right? So sometimes they say, if you have a goal or you have a vision, you tend to be healthier and live longer because you have something to strive for. And that's what I was hoping with the senior tuber would do, is keep people striving for something, learning, mastering it, you know,
Yeah.
imagine mastering your YouTube channel. And that's a great feat to be doing at any age, right? So that's what I was hoping.
I agree with you. And a senior tube is really good because when you get, as you live and as you have experiences, you gain even more wisdom.
Yes.
And that wisdom needs to be shared.
Yes.
That insight needs to be shared. And I know a lot of people who get to a certain age and they get overwhelmed by the technology, and they have all of this that they still want to do, but it's the technology is too much. I like that you are challenging yourself and you're continuing to challenge yourself to do more, because that keeps you living, that keeps you young. My auntie tells me all the time, age is just a mindset, because you can be 30 years old and acting like you're 70.
Yes.
It's just the mindset. So I like that.
Yeah, when I was younger, there was an actress, she's passed since, her name was Ruth Gordon, and she wrote a book at 80 years old, and it was like she left blank pages in the book and said, they can't color the pages of the book, but this would be blue. And she was just like so playful and childlike in her acting and in her writing. And I use her as a symbol for myself, saying, am I being childlike enough? I also am a little childish, but I try to be just childlike so that I want to feel the best I can feel as far as vibrancy and self-expression and energy. And I think if you can tap into it, and believe me, I don't wake up that way, but I can ignite it. Who am I here today? I'm here to have the best day ever. I'm here to be childlike or whatever. And I put that into action every day.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Shantae, you have a little childlike in there, don't you?
I try to keep it all the time, baby, all the time. Okay. Can't nobody tell me I'm not in my early 20s. Yes.
Some of us.
I believe in that.
Yeah. Just saying.
Those kids had me out there shooting and playing Call of Duty the other day.
Oh, gosh. I was Destiny. I'm a Destiny girl, but yeah, I was a gamer. I haven't had a playmate in a while, so to go play Destiny with.
I've never been a gamer. Even my whole family loved playing cards, and I would.
That's more my speed, but I was invited to be a gamer, so my Xbox One is inside, and sometimes I do that. But yeah, I was the one to play board games and stuff.
My
But
sisters
you don't do
board,
anything.
and my daughters, they were so
because you're
my
doing
daughter,
what you do.
yeah,
This is what you do, right?
I had one of my sisters one time said, why are you always reading self-development books? Why don't you do something fun? And I was like,
It is fun.
For me, fun. Personal development junkie is
Yes.
it is fun. I love that.
My desk is my favorite place. I get to be with people all over the world and create from here. This is my hobby, what I do for work. It's what I think you're the same way, right? Charlotte?
And yes, absolutely. And you know, and I know Shantae has a full-time job at like a legal something or other. And she
That's
loves
not
that.
important.
So but it is, she wouldn't do it if I don't think you would do it if you didn't enjoy a lot of it. I mean, you've
That
told
is
me.
correct. I've cut out. I like the first half of my life, I lived it doing things that I did not enjoy, but things that I had to do. And I appreciate the wisdom. I appreciate the time spent doing them, but I appreciate the learning experience. The second half of my life, yeah, I only do the things that I enjoy doing, that brings me purpose, that brings me passion, that fuels me, that ignites me, that keeps me alive. Because I've realized that when I spend all of my time doing things that I find no love and joy in, it sucks the energy and the life out of me.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And it's all choice, right? It's all choice. We get to choose. This is our life. We get to choose.
Yeah.
So I was, actually I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine the other day. And Monday I was laying in the bed. I woke up and I was laying in the bed, and I was just really just enjoying the luxury of my bed. And God just really took me in that moment. And I realized that the worst weapon that was ever created to use against us was the bed and the television. And we never realized it because people get lost being in comfort, and your bed is comfortable. And it's so easy to make the decision to stay in the bed. And then you have the television and you get caught up on the television. And so it's so easy to lose and miss out on life staying in the bed and watching the television. Those are two weapons that were created. They should have been used to help us, but they were used against us, and they became a prison. And so it's so easy to miss life being in the bed and watching TV. But I love God because no weapon formed against you is going to prosper. So he created something else to get us out of that, to counteract that weapon that's used against us. And when I got to thinking about it, it's not something that you would think it's good, it's beneficial, but responsibility, obligation, and commitment. I had to get up and go to work. I have a job where I have responsibility. I've made commitments. And so that was enough to pull me out of what was comfortable and take me into what was next. So I wouldn't miss life and lose life lying in that comfortable place. Because back in the day, they didn't have great mattresses. They had to get up off the ground because it hurt. You know what I'm saying? So they were always moving. But then we got comfortable. And so to counter that comfort, he had to give us work. And as I stepped into my office, I was like, you know what? Instead of looking at things as, oh, I gotta work, this is my weapon. This is beneficial because this keeps me alive. This keeps me moving. This gives me life. And this counteracts depression and being stuck and being laid up. I get to come here and I get to do this and I get to interact and so it just changed the way that just in that moment, it really just that revelation. And in that moment really just reminded me to appreciate
perspective. You're talking
Yes.
Perspective changed and it shifts. And so Shantae had a very harsh life in certain ways, and every single day for how many years now goes to the gym and in the morning. So she chose in one day, one morning, I remember this, you said, you just like, I don't feel like going. I said, I'm going to go. Even if I just touch the door, I've been there. And it was enough to get her out and in motion. So
That's awesome. I applaud you.
Thank you.
And so
Can you come over? Drag me out.
It has to be a choice. I don't.
Yes, and I have a
Yeah.
choice. I don't do gyms. I don't want to. I did it for a little while in my life, and I was just, it's like, no, if I'm going to do something, I do Sonicare Shuffle. I walk in place for 2.5 minutes while I'm brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
You know, I do something, but it's not.
Moving your body is great. It is great.
That's the only goal. Okay, guys, I love you. I have to get on another call at 1:45. So I just wanted to jump on.
It's so
nice
good to
meet
see
you.
you.
Thank you. I'm going to check out your channel. I'll get it from Charla later. Okay.
So yeah, tell them your website or let's say your website here.
You can put it in the it's next level NEXLEVEL conversations.com. If you go there, you can connect with me all over the place. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Bye.
Nice
Love
to
you.
meet you, Shante. Bye-bye.
She is a doll.
She is a powerhouse. Wow.
I know. And
she's got a presence, and oh man, she must have a great channel.
She does. She's live this evening. She is on Win Win Women, and she's live this evening at I think 7. But we met in California about 4 years ago. No, in the end of February of 2020 in California. So, and she's local.
There are no strangers in your life, are they? You're all friends.
I'm a collector and connector of fascinating people, and everyone is fascinating.
Exactly. I was giving you that opportunity to say.
Thank you.
I wanted to hear it again.
Especially you. I'll add that, especially for you. So
I take it. I'm taking it right towards me since you said it to me.
And something she said, I thought was interesting. I remember between 7th and 8th grade, this television thing, I was addicted to 3 soap operas, and this is in the 60s. And I literally did not think that Jessie could live without me on General Hospital. I could not go back to school, and I swore I would never watch. I'd be addicted to television ever again. And I feel like that was a huge blessing moving forward.
Yes. Wow.
So, but the temptation, because it's called programming for a reason. But,
yep. That's interesting. Yeah.
So where are we leading? So I want to, what's your best message? What do you want to leave folks with? Our time goes fast and it's fun, and we've had some diverse directions, haven't we?
It just sounds like something we would do, right? We would go off track and just have fun, right? You told me it was not, never know what to expect, right? So that's what happened. We put it out there. So what do I want people to do? I would like people to dig into themselves and say, listen, if I wanted to leave something with the world, whether it's YouTube or not, okay, start listening to what you have inside of you. A lot of people don't know that they have anything inside. What do you do well? Make a list. Just keep making this list and let it inspire you to say, you know what, I have something to offer. Because believe it or not, as somebody who's been an entrepreneur my entire life, when it came down to what do I know, I didn't have a list. I didn't know what I knew. I could not make a list. And then all of a sudden, now my list is so long, I'm exhausted just thinking about all the videos I have to make, right? What do I know how to do? I know how to organize, or I know how to write a poem, or I know how to help people through a tough situation. I'm a good listener. All those things, what you think you're taking for granted, start writing them down. Don't let anybody see it if you don't want to, but just keep making this list. And one day you might say, you know what, I have something to offer the world. And you might do something with it. You might make a blog. You might write a book. You might come over to our group and decide you want to be a YouTube creator, or at least try it, or at least be a spectator like some of our people are. And don't let everything that's inside of you die. We've been growing ourselves all these years. Leave a legacy for your family, even if you're not in public. There are ways to leave your legacy on YouTube, and nobody but your family will see it. And I put out a podcast about that. So I created a family reunion, a virtual family reunion that we meet once every 2 months. People I haven't seen for 30 years, people I've never met. And we get together every 2 months and love all over each other, right? There are things you could do to get your expression out, see your family, share your gifts. exercise whatever right you want to put out there. Like if you have some sort of a belief system you want to share with the world. There's a woman out there reading the Bible every day on YouTube, and she come up with journals, and she's got such a great channel that people are flocking to her. And she's just having fun sharing the Bible with people in the kitchen. There was one woman who started out with just a recipe for apple cider vinegar, homemade apple cider vinegar. That's all she was doing, is doing some cooking stuff. Now she's got this whole enterprise, has like, I think almost 1 million subscribers now. So you never know where it's going to go, but just get your mind going and then maybe start somewhere small. Don't expect everything's going to grow. We have some people that grew their channels for 100 or 200 subscribers in the past year. Amazing to them. Other people would be very impatient with that. Be patient. You never know what your pace is, but just start. Put your toe in. Dip your toe.
That's right. Dip your toe in the water. I remember you saying that for
toe
sure.
dippers. Yep.
So inspire people. Tell about our group, the community, and your inspiration to have them come and click on your YouTube channel and join it.
Yes. So if you go to my YouTube channel, which is the Senior Tuber Community, a little video will pop up about our Senior Tuber Circle, where there's 3 levels of joining. And if the first one is just a toe dipper, it's 99 cents a month for people who just want to be in the loop, maybe get some discounts, get some motivational tips for YouTube. And then there's the group where you jumped in, which is the creators group, where we meet once a week. We brainstorm, support each other. We even have it where we could teach each other. There's a teach one, learn one section, which I absolutely love, because we all think we don't have something to teach until somebody says, can you teach? And then look at us. We're all finding out that we have gold. And then there's the learners circle, where anybody who wants to learn about YouTube, learn how to optimize your channel, monetize your channel, that would be the learners group. And that one is $14.99 a month. The creators group is $9.99 a month. So if you want to join, just check with me on Calendly. Come meet me, see if I feel right to you, ask your questions. It's a free call. And I think you can post that link if I give it to you. Yeah. So just check in, make an appointment, and let's meet each other and see if there's something I can help you with. I usually help people in that time anyway. I want you to leave with good information, and then choose what feels right.
Right. It doesn't feel pressure. We've got a really good friend. There's a couple of people in there that don't have a YouTube channel at all, but they're coming to the Senior Tubers creators
religiously. Yep.
Religiously to because we like each other, because we have fun. Yes. and get to know.
We're a generous group, and like we said yesterday, it's not controversial. We're not arguing about anything. We're not bringing up stuff that would cause any kind of conflict. We're here in harmony. We're here to try to support each other and play.
And respect each other. That's the piece, that I think you're saying. So just fully respecting and just loving on each other, loving on people,
We haven't even told the world about the group yet. We're starting slowly. It'll grow when I start telling people. So I just want to make sure we had our foundation set, and we have a really great foundation with most amazing people who are generous and fun and interesting. They're very
interesting, and have so many diverse gifts to share with the world. And that's a good thing too, right?
Yeah, I love that. I love it.
Well, Fran, you have done amazing things. You have a final word? Is there, did I already ask you that?
No, you keep surprising me with whatever you're asking. The final word. Let me think about that.
Your strongest message, maybe, or your final word.
If you're feeling resistance, everybody does. So if you're feeling like you don't want to be on a YouTube channel because you don't want to be seen, you think you have nothing to share, if you think that whatever, like it looks good here, but not you, but something is keeping you intrigued, let's have a conversation. I'm not going to talk you into anything, but I want you to give up the resistance, because you never know what's over that threshold, like we were talking about later. Just play with the idea. I always tell people, make 5 little videos that nobody will ever see, a minute long, and just see how you sound, how you like it. Hate it. You will hate it. And then all of a sudden, the next round of 5, you might like it. And you say, hey, you know what? I don't look so bad, or I didn't feel so bad. and just play with the idea of sharing yourself with the world.
Well, and I saw you mentioned something, one of your videos about faceless videos. There are a lot of people that you never see their face. They're showing
Exactly.
stuff, maybe
And
cooking, or maybe
successful.
just their hands and
Yes.
playing the music or whatever it is.
So if you don't mind, I'd like to say that you don't even know, some of you don't even know that a faceless channel is a faceless channel. You don't realize there's nobody in the video. Now that you've heard it, you might say, oh, there's a faceless channel, right? But here's another thing. They're just as successful with the right YouTuber, right? They're doing the best practices and optimizing their channel, but they're just as successful. You're not going to reach less success because you don't have your face on there. So there's so many ways around your yeah buts. And that's all I want to do is if after we resolve your yeah buts and you still don't want it, that's okay. But let's at least address them.
Well, you're offering something that I think is just really needed, and why not? So something came to mind, that little thing we talked about earlier that I posted about being bored and all that kind of stuff. One of the first comments was like, not me, I'm homesteading. I make ACV, apple cider vinegar. And she had a picture of it. And then another person said later that he was bored. And I hadn't had a chance to reach out to him, but so that one post has a variety of things, and there are things, I think if you're bored, there might be depression, or there might be some other causes, right?
And so what I see when you say that, if you're bored or you're depressed, or I have family members that suffer from anxiety or any kind of autoimmune system issues, there's a channel. I mean, all you have to do is say, you know what? I'm going to create a community out of bored people. And we're going to get together and we're going to talk about what do we do to overcome boredom. Well, let's all be bored together, or, share quotes about boredom. There's so many things you can do with what you might be calling a negative situation, and you can make it positive. And so if you're out there with anxiety, start a channel and talk about what you do know, what's working, what's not working. And people with anxiety will probably flock to you because they need people to share with and to be with.
Yeah, people need people.
Yeah, widows and people going through divorces and people who just lost their job. You can have a channel just about those things.
Exactly. And there's channels that I've just cake decorating or making tiny little things in their little.
Yes. It doesn't have to be complicated. The simpler, the better.
So that we'll leave it with the simpler, the better, and just do it. How about
that's probably
that?
what you wanted earlier. Just say the simple. All that to say, the simpler, the better. Yes,
the simpler, the better, and have fun with us. Join the group and come on over and have some fun. And
we'll love
the big Facebook group though that is not the private, right? So that's
right,
the one
senior
they
tuber
can
community.
stick a toe in too, right?
Yep,
So,
that's a toe dipper thing where you can come in and we just play a little bit, talk about some things. People can interact, and you can see how we feel. That'd be great. Senior tuber community on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, I think you're amazing, Fran, and I'll see you tomorrow on Senior Tuber. And
I see you there. That's 3 days in a row. Yay.
Right?
Not enough. Still not enough, Charla, but that was very nice. It's a good start. Yes.
Did you get your warm fuzzies?
I did.
Okay.
Very nice. Thank you. There was no doubt.
I love you so much, and I love
you
what
too.
you do, and I'm thankful. So every week the show is live on winwinwomen.tv, winwinwomen.com. Find us. And then Podetize on charlaanderson.com as well. And you can find the Charla Anderson Show, I believe, is my YouTube channel. So you might as well go look over there because those podcasts come out there too. So this has been a pleasure, and I'm so grateful to have your company and your inspiration to me so much. And we're just gonna have to
keep going. Oh, you want to tell people it's at noon for 1 hour. We meet for the creators group on Thursdays, and
noon Eastern, right? Because it's 11 my time, right? So noon Eastern time is where our little group meets.
Yes, if you want to come come for the first time free, just let me know. Just mention this, and we'll let you come free.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, Fran, thanks a billion, and we're gonna have a good time next Next week is going to be just me. No guest next week. I'm choosing to do every fourth week a solo show.
That's fantastic.
Charla's chat, I think.
Oh
Something
my
like
gosh,
that.
I can't wait. That is fantastic.
So I can just, I don't know, talk
You
about
have so much
everything.
to say. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem. You have so much wisdom. I can't wait.
Never nothing to say, never nothing to do.
Yeah.
Boredom is not in our vocabulary. We love you very much. And don't forget to always, always, always choose joy.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. The Charla Anderson Show. Encouraging you to stand strong and courageous with bold faith, no fear, immense hope, kindness, and love, especially towards yourself. Visit charlaanderson.com for replays, blogs, and more on her ever-expanding website, as well as watch her live TV show on winwinwomen.tv, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And so that we can continue learning together and growing this community of beautiful souls, we invite you to share the Charla Anderson Show with your circle of friends. Until we meet again next week, remember always, choose joy.